Everyone in town knew Daniel as the average guy. He wasn't the top student. He didn't come from a wealthy family, and luck never seemed to be on his side. It felt like every time Daniel tried something new, he hit a wall. He failed exams, got rejected from interviews, and his business ideas never took off. The world around him seemed to have one message for him: just give up. This isn't for you. The whispers grew louder, and soon, Daniel started to believe them. He felt like a failure, and the weight of it was crushing. One evening, feeling completely exhausted and heartbroken, Daniel found himself sitting alone on a park bench. The city lights twinkled around him, but all he could feel was darkness. His dreams, once so bright and exciting, now felt like heavy burdens. His heart felt hollow, empty of hope. As he stared blankly at the ground, an old man walking his dog stopped in front of him. With a kind and gentle voice, he asked, "Young man, why do you look so defeated?" Daniel looked up, surprised. He hadn't noticed anyone was there. He let out a long sigh and confessed, "I feel like I've been walking for miles, taking so many steps, but success is still so far away. It feels like I'm not getting any closer." The old man listened patiently, a warm smile spreading across his face. He leaned on his cane and said something that would change Daniel's life forever. "What if success," the old man proposed, "is just one step after the one you're standing on right now?" Daniel let out a short, bitter laugh. One step? After all the pain, all the rejection, all the sleepless nights? It sounded too simple, almost ridiculous. He had taken thousands of steps, and each one had led to a dead end. How could one more step possibly make a difference? It felt like a cruel joke. He had tried and failed more times than he could count. He had invested his time, his money, and his spirit, only to be met with disappointment again and again. Seeing the doubt in Daniel's eyes, the old man continued, his voice soft but firm. "Think about it," he said. "Most people quit when they are just one step away from a breakthrough. They stop right before their life is about to change. They give up at the second to last step, never knowing how close they truly were." The old man's words hung in the cool night air. They weren't just words. They were a lifeline. It was a perspective Daniel had never considered. Was it possible he had been quitting right at the finish line without even knowing it? That night, sitting on that bench, Daniel made a decision. It wasn't a grand, dramatic promise to conquer the world. He didn't promise himself that he would become a huge success overnight. He didn't promise to be perfect or to never fail again. He simply made a small, quiet promise to himself. Just one more step, one more attempt, one more day, one more try. He would stop focusing on the distant finish line and just focus on taking the very next step in front of him. That was a promise he felt he could keep. And so his journey began anew, not with a bang, but with a quiet resolve. He woke up the next morning, and instead of wallowing in his past failures, he took one small action toward his goal. Just one. The next day he did it again. Days slowly turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. There were still moments of doubt, times when the old voices of failure whispered in his ear. But every time he felt like quitting, he remembered the old man's words and focused on just one more step. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, things started to change. A small win finally came. It wasn't a lottery jackpot or a life-altering event, just a small piece of positive feedback, a tiny crack of light in the darkness. But it was enough. It fueled him to take another step. Then another small win followed, and another. These small victories began to stack up, building momentum like a snowball rolling downhill. His confidence grew, not because he suddenly became brilliant or lucky, but because he was proving to himself that he could keep going. Months turned into years. The journey was long and far from easy. It was a quiet, steady climb marked by consistent effort rather than flashy moments. Daniel kept his head down and focused on the process, on taking that next step, day in and day out. He learned from his mistakes, adapted his approach, and most importantly, he never stopped moving forward, no matter how small the progress seemed. Years later, Daniel was no longer the average guy. He had built something meaningful, something successful. The same people who once laughed at his attempts and told him to give up now looked at him with a mixture of awe and confusion. They gathered around him, their voices filled with admiration, asking, "How did you do it? What's your secret? How did you make it?" Daniel would simply smile, the memory of that night on the park bench still fresh in his mind. He would look at them and answer with a calm confidence that came from a long, hard-fought journey. "It's simple," he'd say. "I just didn't stop at the second-to-last step." This story teaches us a powerful lesson. Success isn't always reserved for the most talented, the wealthiest, or the luckiest among us. More often than not, it comes to those who are simply too stubborn to quit. It comes to the ones who, when faced with failure and defeat, choose to take just one more step. So if you're feeling defeated today, if you feel like you're miles away from your goal, remember Daniel. Remember that your greatest breakthrough could be waiting for you just one step beyond where you are now. Don't give up. Keep going. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires you to keep moving forward. We'll see you in the next video.